So, what's up YouTube? This is just me in San Francisco enjoying myself with my dad. We're doing a little bit of a chill out before we go to Colombia. So I'm going to be in the Amazon rainforest. I'm going to be in Ecuador, Costa Rica, a couple other places, some secret zones. And we're going to be doing what I do always, you know, just foraging, cooking, eating, meeting people. So stay tuned and wait for the adventure. This is almost like tantless, but like 40 times higher. How's this? So we have a blackberry bush over here. These grow all over California, and I'm kind of near a spot I used to live at when I was a kid. So we're gonna pick some of these blackberries to make blackberry jam. So this is the Himalayan blackberries here in Northern California. You can see these ones are kind of small because they're kind of going through a drought right now. But I just gotta fill up this guy full of berries so I can get to enough for jam so I can send it back to Hawaii to put in some dishes and stuff. But as you can see, I put some not ripe ones in there because when you cook it with the not ripe ones, it releases pectin and it thickens up the jam, so you don't have to add store-bought pectin to it. Now here, these are some nice blackberries. No matter what I do, I'm getting stung every time I grab them because there's little pricklies all over these guys. Interesting fact about blackberries: in England, sheep that aren't shaven, they'll get stuck inside the blackberry bush because of these thorns right here. And eventually, when they're getting stuck inside of these blackberries, they give up and die and end up fertilizing the blackberries. So this is a carnivorous plant, and it's a pain in the ass trying to get blackberries from it. But it's gonna all be worth it when I get my my jam. So we found some prickly pears today, and I'm gonna just pick a couple to eat, but I gotta put on my gloves so I don't get stuck by the pumpkins. Here in California, the prickly pears are a lot more sweet. Okay, perfect. Let's look at all these apples right here. These little crab apples. I'm gonna take a couple just to try out. I'm pretty stoked right now because I think I just found some elderberries, and that's sick. You never see elderberries really in Hawaii because usually they flower and they don't get to full maturity. But if I can snag some of these elderberries, you know I'm making elderberry syrup and bringing that stuff back to Honolulu. Yeah. Some elderberries right here. So these are the flowers after they're pollinated. They make these little berries, and it makes like a nice thing. So we're at Bolinas right now, and there's some wild fennel here. You can see these are the premature seeds. Right there. Yeah. So we're here in Northern California, and this is a perfect area for finding seaweed. I can already see nori down there. There's uni, fresh sea urchin, all kinds of stuff. So right now it's kind of like a low tide, medium low tide. So we're gonna go explore the beach, and I already see a dead seal down there. And yeah, we're gonna go. I haven't been here since I was a kid. I came here and there was a dead whale here one time. So we're gonna go explore and check it out. Jellyfish right there. Check this out. So this is like nori, the nori seaweed that you find in your sushi and stuff. Really cool. You pound this out, you layer it, and you dry it, and you can make this stuff for seaweed. So so you can have your own dry seaweed. Then there's other ones too. There's wakame. I'm not sure which this one is exactly, but if you look right here, there's a little sea snail. These are pretty cool. Little sea snail. Put that guy back. Right here we got a dead seal. And wow, that sucks. Looks like it got bit in half by a great white shark. This is a little more dangerous than Hawaii actually. Look at how fat these waves are right now. And the tide is like still low, but it's rising. So if I'm gonna find any uni, I gotta do it kind of fast and try not to get sucked out over there. This is the perfect area. You have wakame, you have kombu, all different types of seaweed growing together. These cold water seaweeds are the same ones they use in Japanese cooking, Asian cooking. Look at this seaweed, sea urchins. Unfortunately not yet, but we'll see. Find something? Looks like the high tide is too high right now for us to get any sea urchins. They like to chill out in those rocks over there, but as you can tell, that's already 3 to 4 feet deep, and you can see how vicious the ocean is right now. I'm not gonna go out there and get it, but next time. So here we got a little ocean salad. You got fresh kelp. You got different types of kelp. So these are part of the kelp forest here in California. Not too sure on the names of them, but how's this little jellyfish right here? Maybe a jellyfish salad or something. Sea lettuce. This one's not good for eating because it's like really close to this shore, you know. But we have this kind of lettuce in Hawaii too. It's way more tender here than in Hawaii though. So this is a waterfall that ends up right at the beach. Super cool, clear water. And then check this out. Right here is some watercress. So it's watercress. Awesome freaking waterfall. So you got the watercress. All of this right here is flowering watercress, which is pretty awesome. Like, take a look, all these flowers and stuff. I like to use watercress in salads and all kinds of stuff. Now you see this watercress, that looks like the best. Like, that looks pretty good too. And just look at how much grows here. Like, it's all desert, and then it's like this like crazy little watercress farm. I'm tripping out. So here's some of the stuff I was foraging the last couple days. I've got black emission figs. These are really soft and ripe, and these are like just pure sugar. Check this out. Like, this opens. And we're gonna do a jam out of this so I can have it back in Hawaii. So I got the figs. I got all those wild blackberries. It doesn't look like a lot, but it's more than it looks like. And these are all wild, so they're a lot smaller than the regular one. Then I got some prickly pears. I'm probably just gonna munch on these while I cook everything up. And then 2 wild apples, which tastes so good. I had one earlier. And then here's a couple wild pears also. I didn't pick these. The person I'm staying with, they picked all these. And then that's some wild basil too. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to can with these mason jars. So first thing we're gonna do is let's get these clean. Okay, so to clean these, I just put it on hot water, and then I'm just gonna kind of clean it, get it nice and sanitary. So now we got our clean mason jar, which you do that so it doesn't get spoiled while you're you don't want this stuff inside, any bacteria to get inside to spoil what you're trying to can. Canning is trying to preserve it for at least a year. So I'm just gonna grab our figs by the handful and we're gonna put them in here. So just put them in here, kind of mash them up. This is my own little recipe, like for the way I make jam. Some people like it really sweet and thick. I just like it natural, so I do water, a little bit of honey, and that's all. Because this stuff, like I said, it's loaded with sugar. Look at that nice the color is not black turkey. So I'm just gonna add a little water so it doesn't scorch. So I threw in the ripe ones and I also threw in some unripe ones. The unripe ones have pectin inside, and when you heat it up, it releases it to thicken up the jam. So you don't have to actually add any of that white powder that they sell at the store. That's the artificial pectin, which they use as a thickener for jams. So I'm gonna add a little bit of lime juice. It's gonna be our acid today. And that's gonna bring out the flavors really good, especially with all the sweetness that's coming from it naturally. So I got some wild blackberries from the forests local around here. I had mixed in a little sugar and it's about a day or two old, so just about to start going into some blackberry wine, but we're gonna turn it into jam. And same idea with this jam like the figs. We're gonna cook it up, render it a little bit, and then add a little sugar and citrus. Then we're gonna can it for back in Hawaii. So look at the color on this. This stuff is so awesome. Wild blackberries grow everywhere out here in San Francisco. Dyes everything. So we got burning water, boiling water, so it heats up the inside of these mason jars. And then we're gonna add our mix inside and then cap them. So I took the skin off these prickly pears, and they're like the ones in Hawaii, the orange kind, which I like a lot. I was hoping I got the red ones, but what are you gonna do? Got our fig jam here. You can see how thick it's gotten. And we're just gonna put that inside these mason jars. I think I'm gonna get 2 of them out of this, or maybe just 1 full one, so we'll see. Then we get 2. One and a half. We'll take 1 and a half. That's our fig jam right here. Gonna keep it nice and hot while we get ready to can it. These are blackberry jam right here, wild blackberries. And we're gonna pour it in. Really get it small. Don't worry, I'm gonna use a spatula after. Look how thick that is. All the rest I'm just gonna eat with a little piece of bread. There you go. I mean, some people are crazy about the insides being really clean when you can. I'm still learning how to can, so if you know how to make it real clean and not as messy as what I just did, let me know in the comments below. But that's our three ingredients, or our 3 canned goods for this trip. It's 2 fig jams and 1 blackberry jam. So we're gonna let that set, and it should seal in about 30 to 40 minutes once I put the other part of the lid on. Down, just kind of put it on there.
Okay.
Okay. So it's been an awesome week in San Francisco. We found a bunch of stuff to forage, blackberries, figs, a lot of cool stuff. We're getting ready right now to go to Colombia. So check back next week and stay tuned for our next adventures.